Welcome back. All right, so quick news of the day video here to finish things out before hockey gets started for tonight. Joe Pavelski has now officially signed with the Dallas Stars. It's a 1-year extension. The cap hit is $5.5 million. There's a player bonus in there, so if he plays 10 games, 20 games, 30 games, 40 games, 50 games, every time he hits one of those 10-game segments, he gets an extra $100,000. So if he plays 50 games next season, his pay will be $6 million. So yeah, the bonuses are nice. I like this contract a lot. Pavelski's been a huge driving force for the Dallas Stars. They really couldn't afford to let him go on the free agent market. So yeah, that's one more year for Pavelski. We'll see how many points he puts up that year, and just how well he, Robertson, and Hintz play, and if they stay together right through that full year next year. You never know from one year to the next what lines are going to stay the same and which ones might change. The Edmonton Oilers re-signed Niemelainen, young defenseman of theirs, 2 years, $762,500 cap hit. Not a bad job. And they're getting closer to getting healthier. Josh Archibald, who of course was out with myocarditis, he's close to returning, as are Tyson Barrie and Chris Russell. So their blue line's going to get a bit healthier. They're going to be adding a forward, bottom six forward pretty soon as well. So does that help the Oilers going to the deadline? Does that change what they do at the deadline? Or do they still look at this team and say, yeah, no, we got to fix things in this lineup? And do they maybe go for something major? Or was Evander Kane that major change? And so they're just waiting to see how things go. So we'll see. The Heritage Classic is this weekend in Hamilton. So, of course, you've got Toronto and Buffalo. Toronto confirming that Peter Mrazek will start in the Heritage Classic. And obviously that's a game where you wanted Jack Campbell to be the starter, and Campbell's out with an injury. So it's an absolute shame that Campbell's hurt and that they're going with Mrazek for this as a result. But who knows? Maybe the game against Buffalo, maybe it'll be this big, wonderful moment for Toronto. They'll have this great game, and they can carry on the momentum from there. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that one. Today, Pierre Dorion doing a media availability kind of thing, and he said that this has been a very quiet deadline, the quietest he's seen as a general manager, which is surprising to me because coming into this year I thought, well, since the border's open and you should see more liberal movement after a year last year where we didn't see very much at all. There really hasn't been very much, and him saying that it's the quietest deadline, maybe it stays that way through the deadline. Maybe when we do the live stream next Monday, maybe it'll be a nice quiet day where we can all just kind of hang out and chat about, the sunshine and puppy dogs and I don't know, baseball, sure. So it's been the quietest deadline, but he also confirmed that Jake Sanderson will be joining the Ottawa Senators once his season's done in the NCAA. This is potentially huge news for next year's Ottawa Senators. Adding Jake Sanderson makes a big difference on that blue line. If he can translate his game to the NHL, to the same level he's playing at in NCAA, I think Sens fans are going to be absolutely over the moon about how good he is, and he could be this huge boost to a blue line that's already got a lot of potential on it. There's already a lot of good young defensemen there, so they're almost to the point where maybe they could trade one of those good young defensemen to get help elsewhere if they wanted to do that. He was asked as well about the fact that they'll have 3 goaltenders on one-way contracts next year. And basically, there's a long time until next season, so he's not worried about that right now. But yeah, so Ottawa, there is still hope for the future, and Jake Sanderson could be a big part of turning things around next year. Waiver news from today, Ryan Dzingel's back on waivers. He spent 6 games with the Sharks. He had the 1 goal. Now he's back on waivers. I get the feeling he may clear this time. We'll see if he does or not, but I get the feeling he will. Aiden Hill may very well start tomorrow for the San Jose Sharks. I think Sawchenko did a good job last night. Good goaltender there. There's some potential, but they want to get Aiden Hill in there, and they want to get Reimer back and healthy as soon as possible. Because while their odds of making the playoffs are virtually 0 at this point, you still want to have your best 2 goaltenders. So having Hill in net could help, and Reimer shouldn't be that far out from what I've been reading. And keep in mind the trade deadline is in 10 days. Not this Monday coming up. The following Monday is the trade deadline. And between now and then, it's possible we'll see some big moves. But what we've seen, like Alvin says yesterday to Vancouver media, that his phone's been quiet and they're listening and waiting to see who's going to offer something up. Dorian saying his phone line's been quiet. Well, Ottawa is a definite seller, and the fact their phone's not ringing. Alvin's got some interesting contract situations coming up in the offseason. His phone's not ringing that much either. It does tell you this could be a quiet deadline. But we've been wrong before. We've seen it quiet before the deadline, and then on deadline day, it's like it's Black Friday, and there's only 100 PS5s available, and there's 6,000 people trying to get at them. So we shall see what happens that day. I'll be here to report on it. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.